After 3 movies and more on the way, John Wick has wowed us with violent action and brutality set against a neo-noir landscape. There's an underground world of killers, a global group ruled by a mysterious group called the High Table. Even though these movies are exciting, they often make us question the rules set by the story. In this video, we'll discuss some of the biggest plot holes in the John Wick franchise. First off, the noise complaint. Isef Tarasov, the son of a well-known Russian kingpin named Viggo, killed John Wick's dog and stole from him on the day he signed his death warrant. John will come for him, as his father so eloquently put it, and there's nothing he can do about it. During a quick phone call, Viggo does try to talk to the killer, but he doesn't give in. John ends the call without saying anything. When Viggo discovers what John's capable of, he's scared to death. He sends his task force to John's house in hopes that they can put out the fire before it spreads into a wildfire. John isn't a fool though. He knows that Viggo will try to start things off, so he's ready for the mercenaries when they walk into the house. For the first time, we see John's fighting skills on screen, and he puts on a show. Just after John kills 12 men, a police officer named Jimmy comes to the door because of a noise complaint. John knows Jimmy. The idea that the fight was loud enough to warrant a complaint makes it harder to understand why some of the men in different parts of the house couldn't find John. Even though the sounds of his killings were heard all over the neighborhood, he still managed to catch each of them by surprise. Up next, Viggo's brother taking John's car. The second movie starts with Viggo's brother, Abram, telling everyone about the main character again. He tells the person who works for him that he has John's car. Then he repeats the line that Viggo told his son about how John is. Simply put, he's a man with a clear mind and a strong will. He killed 3 people in a bar with a pencil, among other things. Abram has good reason to be afraid of John. He almost loses every man in his warehouse because John is so angry with him for holding his car. So, the question is, given what Abram knows and what he fears, why would he keep John's car? So why shouldn't Abram do the same? Even though he knows John could kill him for it, he never gives a good reason. Followed by killing a member of the High Table. This plot hole was caused by trying to figure out more about the underworld of assassins, even though it went against what had happened before. The sequel picks up after John tries to return to his old life after destroying Viggo and his whole operation in John Wick Chapter 2. But Santino D'Antonio, a former partner who knows John is back in the game, approaches him. He says that John owes him money because of a blood oath he made when he was a hitman in a past life. Santino helped John out, so now John has to do the same for him. So, if it is forbidden to shoot at a High Table member, wouldn't Santino's plan to kill his sister go against the rule? Wouldn't she have been able to use her power to cancel John's marker and have the High Table punish Santino for trying to kill a member of the High Table? Moving on to too many assassins in John Wick's world. In the first movie, John Wick's a famous character, but the second and third movies build on what the first movie started and show how significant and far-reaching this world of assassins is. After Winston kicks John out of the church for doing business on continental land, a price is put on his head. It seems like almost everyone he sees on the street has heard the call and is out to get him. Contract killers hide in plain sight as chefs, regular people walking down the street, and even the homeless. This moment makes John's life seem even more like it's running out of time, but it also makes us wonder how a secret world with so many people can stay a secret from the general public. Even though it doesn't break any of the rules set up by the plot, it's hard to believe even in a fictional world like the one set up by the first John Wick. Next, operators use outdated technology. Once the mysterious leaders decide that the Continental is no longer holy, mercenaries with the most advanced weapons enter the hotel. John and the other assassins are part of a strange order, and when they claim contracts for hire, they often use the most cutting-edge methods. Later, when John becomes the main target of the entire assassin underworld, Winston tells all the killers in the contract killer phone book that there's a bounty on John's head. We see that there are operators who run a switchboard for contracts that assassins under the High Table can take. In terms of style, the women look like pinup girls from the 40s and 50s. Even technology that seems old, like the analog switchboard, is right at their fingertips. In a modern neo-noir setting, this is a matter of style, and it's a pretty excellent choice, given the images and period it brings to mind. But the old technology goes against the idea that this group is ahead of the curve, and doesn't have to answer to provincial or government leaders because it works in the shadows. Not to mention the worth of the gold coins. As soon as John finds his weapons and hidden money, we learn that he only deals in gold coins with people in the assassin world. In the first movie, he gives gold coins to the people who clean up the 12 dead bodies at his house. The value of each of these gold coins is hard to tell. They must have a specific value, but John often uses them for services with different values. He pays 1 gold coin for a drink at the bar, but a single gold coin can also pay for a night at the Continental. Also, it's not clear who will accept John's form of of money. All assassins, including the Continental, must deal in gold coins, but John's seen paying the cab driver with a gold coin, which again seems to be the same as a drink or a hotel room for a night. John's use of gold coins is unclear in so many ways. Of course, they aren't that important to the story, but there are significant problems with how they're being handled. Let's learn more about Moroccan Continental avoiding punishment. In John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, the main character's in a lot of trouble right from the start. Even though the good doctor helps him most of the way, he has to stop when John's time is up so that the high table doesn't punish him. John knows this, so he finishes the patchwork on his own. Later, the Bowery King's punished for helping John kill Santino in a roundabout way. Winston could also be punished and lose his position as the leader of the Continental because he gave John Wick an hour of extra time before sending the dogs after him. Later, we see that the director, who's in charge of the Ruska Roma crime group, also gets in trouble for letting John get to Casablanca safely. During his time at Casablanca, John meets Sophia, the manager of the Moroccan Continental, and is played by Halle Berry. John can get Sophia to help him, even though she doesn't want to because they've been friends for a long time and he has a useless marker from Sophia. Even so, the adjudicator never says that she should have been punished like everyone else who helped John along the way. So what's so great about the Moroccan Continental? And finally, surviving the fall at the end of the film. So let's talk about that fall. At the end of the third movie, Winston seems to turn on his friend John Wick by following the adjudicator's order to kill John. Winston shoots John, and the famous killer falls off the Continental's roof, even though he hit another roof halfway down and bounced off of a fire escape stairway on the other building to slow his fall. He still fell a long way. But let's dissect this scene. John does have a bulletproof suit on, but that won't change much. He fires 5 rounds from Winston's 9mm pistol at point-blank range. You could say that Winston probably shot at John's bulletproof suit not to kill his friend, but to put on a show for the adjudicator. After all they've been through, it's hard to believe Winston turned on John. When John jumps over the ledge, he falls at least 2 stories and lands on a sloped roof. He rolls off that and falls at least 3 more stories before landing on the fire escape, where he almost certainly broke some bones. Then he falls down another 2 stories and hits the ground hard. It's a hard fall, and given how hard it hit, John would at the very least be internally bleeding a lot. But in the end, he's the Baba Yaga. And on that note, that's a wrap for this video. Which of these plot holes is the most unexpected for you? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see ya in the next one.
So I made a deal with them.